Good afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with a Simpler Stocks free video weekend edition of July 11th, 2016. As you see, it's about 16 minutes, well, now since I've talked, 14 minutes before the bell today. Today was all about people getting caught flat-footed again, getting caught short into the unemployment report, and us just keep going like the Energizer Bunny today. So right now what we have with about, like I said, 14 minutes left, ES is up 28.75. They got up to about 32, but they've just ground higher all day. NASDAQ up 63, Russell up 26. Look at this. If this isn't like QE all over again, Russell up, bonds up, crude oil up, gold up. Not just that, go down here and see something even more interesting. The dollar's almost up, corn, wheat, soybeans. Unbelievable. A rush to anything, any asset in the U.S. Just unbelievable in my opinion. So what is this all about today? Basically, the first thing you have to realize in here is that a lot of people thought, like me, that we were overbought, but luckily I said on the Simpler Stocks premium video and on the free video that you couldn't dismiss that this might be an inverse head and shoulders. Now, the point in here, and this is going to be a big point for next week, is way overbought. I mean, there's no ifs and buts about it. Last time we had this, though, you have to understand you usually get some kind of reversal candle. Even here, reversal candle, reversal candle. Here you just got a spinning top at the top, but bearish engulfing. But remember, that was Brexit. But normally what you get is a lack of momentum and an indecision, and then you go down. So everybody thinking we're going up and now we're going to go straight down. I have another thing for you. You have to wait for the loss of momentum, and you obviously don't have that. Overbought, no doubt, but until you see the cross, you have to be extremely, extremely careful about just saying, I close my eyes and I'm shorting. That could be a real bad idea in here. Now, bunch of things that we've been discussing on the Simpler Stocks premium side is one is to keep yourself out of trouble on a day like today, and we did. Now, the first thing you have to realize in here is put the ESs up here. We already know they're overbought, but you see them gap up today, and then you got to realize it's a little diamond formation. You go up by the previous move. That's all we did. You can try to read in 10 times things in it, but that's the first thing. Second thing, 195 chart. If you're bearish, the worst case scenario is number one, that this is a tiny inverse head and shoulders. That's 2070, 21 gets you to 2130. All I'm doing is measuring there to there. Now, the big problem if you're bearish is that. Is this going to go by this? That is it would be an extreme move. From 2100 to 1980, another 120 points. That gets you to 2220. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that when you look at this inverse head and shoulders, and this has kept a lot of people out of trouble on the Simpler Stocks premium side, you got to look at both sides of the coin. I'm just saying that eventually that's possible. I'm not saying it's probable, but I'm saying it's possible. So just keep that in mind in there. Now, from a short-term point of view, we were keeping a lot of people out of trouble because of this. This is what happens when you get a gap up. And now I did a blog for Simpler Options that's going to go, I believe it's free. It's like Simpler Options /blog. The whole idea in here when you're trading, if you see a gap up like this in the ESs, see it on both sides, never did it get under the ATR trailing stop. Not one place. In fact, this became a bull flag. The whole idea is if you ever want to short something, you have to wait for a cross and then to see a weak oversold rally that forms a bear flag. As you see in there, you got none of that. In fact, now is the first time all day that we've been under the ATR trailing stop on a 5-minute. First time. On a 15, we aren't yet. Now, just keep that in mind in there. All I'm saying is if you were thinking of shorting here or here or here, you have to understand you have to wait for some kind of cross of some kind of moving average. That's all. Now, like I've mentioned before, when you cross the first time after protracted up move, what happens? You get too oversold, and then you rally again. The key is how good this rally is. And that's what we're going to be watching. the rest of the day today and on Monday. Now, just so you know, in here, we go over all these. We go over the NASDAQ. We go over the Russell. We go over gold. We go over the transports. We go over a tremendous amount of things on Simpler Stocks. In fact, this is what we have is a chat room for your $7 trial, which is for 30 days. You get the chat room, which I'm on live from 9 to 10 every morning Eastern. Premium video, a lot more in depth than what you're hearing now. And the email alerts. Now, the email alerts have been worthy a subscription on their own. Index and futures charts, I usually post about 6 a night. Last night, I said I'm not going to post them, many of them, because I was a little nervous because it was going to be so much of a binary event. And so I just posted what was possible. Stock trades and chart ideas, I'll come up with interesting ideas. Tell you right now, this unusual option activity has really been kicking it these days. See this, HCNP? This one has been good for $1.50 in the stock. Call Byron COG has worked great. These unusual option ideas right now, one of them was GPS. The stock was 2008 when I mentioned it. Go and look where right now where GPS is. I mentioned this when it was 2008. It's now 2271. Any of these, you buy even 200 shares of them, it pays for your subscription for the year. Just very interesting how those worked. So you get all that with it. The other thing that I didn't mention that you get is we do about every 10 days, we do a thing called a meetup. What I do in there is I usually, the last hour of the day, we go over the MACD or patterns, and then those go into a video series, understanding correlations, trading with the MACD. And if you look in here, it's a lot of them. All of those are included in your subscription. They're not like an extra $99. A lot of this is worth the subscription just on its own. That's what you're included in your subscription. It's a great deal. So just so you know, thousands of people have taken this up on this. So it's been a big deal. So I hope you could take advantage of the offer. Like I said, it's $7 for 30 days. I always say that backwards. I'm sorry about that. Now, next thing I want to mention is tomorrow, Tucker, who's affiliated with our Simpler Trading, is doing something called the Simpler Trend Trading System. It's from tomorrow for 4 hours. It's a great thing in here. He does a lot of great stuff. And here's the link for it. I'll keep that up for a minute. If you get a chance, you should really check this out. It's a real good way to turn around your trading fortunes. So I hope everybody enjoys this video. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you Monday.